Welcome everyone to my talk, which is Johnson Controls met every moment at Sitecore Symposium this year. We, a team of 7 from Johnson Controls, attended Symposium this year with a perfect mix of expertise and background, which is like architects, marketers, strategists, and business partners. This symposium, we also had a talk with one of our implementation partner, Icreon, about how Sitecore empowers our digital transformation initiatives and how we are continuously evolving. We had a planned agenda and expectation attending symposium this year. And in this talk today, I'm going to share how symposium helped us to fine-tuning our strategies, especially towards the path to go composable. A brief introduction, myself, Amitabh Vyas. 15 years in IT, 10 plus years in Sitecore. I'm a 3-time Sitecore Technology MVP, working as a platform architect in Sitecore. In Johnson Controls. These are the platforms I'm reachable on. I'm on Twitter, for sure on LinkedIn. This is my personal technical blog, sitecorecompetencies.com. This is my email ID. And yes, I'm on Sitecore Slack and Stack Exchange. Don't tell me that you are not. I believe everyone we have on this call is part of these two communities. This is how our agenda looks like. We will start with a brief about Johnson Controls. I'm being told that I have a window of like 20 to 25 minutes, so I will cut it short. We'll talk a brief about what is the difference between monolithic and composable. I'm sure this is not something new to you guys. We'll talk about how to prepare a business case for your leadership to convince them the path to go composable. What is the right way to go composable? We'll also do a brief touch on the new Sitecore product, which was launched during Sitecore Symposium. And the main topic of this talk is going to be what are our current JCI challenges and what were the mitigation plan earlier and how those are changed after joining the symposium. This story is not about just Johnson Controls. I believe this would relate to each and every client who is on Sitecore XP right now, below Sitecore 10 versions, and planning to take their step forward to either to stay on Sitecore monolith architecture or to go composable. I'll just go this slide very fast because of time constraints. What Johnson Control is, we are a global diversified technology and multi-industrial leader serving a wide range of customers in more than 150 countries with a 23 billion worth of revenue. We are over 100K employees, and we are all around 2,000 locations all around the world. When I say multi-industrial, these all are the industry which we belongs to. I'll not go much into the details, just jump into the next slide. So post-merger with Sitecore, which is one of the giants into the same industry in 2017, these two industries came together and we found ourselves in 2017 in something like this scenario. Hundreds and hundreds of websites with a huge variety of maturity and tech stack came into our lab. We had, or we still have, WordPress, Expression Engine, SharePoint 10, homegrown CMSs, .NET websites, PHP websites, and many more. This type of complexity comes with a cost in dollars, but especially in terms of the customer experience. Every website coming from a different business unit had its own look and feel, and we were missing kind of a centralized branding experience being part of a single organization. For a few years, we were kind of running 4 siloed Sitecore instances with a shared code base, and of course, all those 9 non-Sitecore websites on different platforms, which I just now mentioned. Then in 2019, we started building a futuristic, strategic, centralized, globally shared architecture, putting Sitecore SXA at the heart. and we started migrating all those legacy Sitecore and few of the non-Sitecore website on this new ecosystem. This is how our current architecture looks like from a bird eye view. For sure, behind those gray boxes, there are a lot of hidden complexities. So far we have migrated 45 websites on this new MarTech architecture, and we are continuously migrating. Based on our recent website inventory, we are expecting around 350 websites to be migrated on this new platform. So what are our challenges? We are on Sitecore 9.2 right now, hosted on Azure PaaS. Our mainstream support is ending 31st of December this year. We are looking for a path towards a sustainable platform which would be capable enough to handle 350 plus websites. With more and more websites which are being migrated onto this platform, the content editor and the experience editor making it more complex into the content operation side of the house. We are also looking to enhance the website visitor experience because we are not using any of the Sitecore XP features and functionality like XDB, Sitecore personalizations, and so on and so forth. So technically, we are catering the static content to each and every website which is coming to our platform. We are also looking for a 360-degree view for the website visitor in 2 to 3 years of timeline. And there are many more challenges. So how we were planning, like any other client who is on Sitecore XP monolith architecture as of today, we had planned to stay on the Azure PaaS. Well, when the Sitecore 10.0 was announced, there was a bit of roller coaster ride was for us when it was announced that there is no Sitecore PaaS support anymore. But now since Sitecore 10.1 onwards, I think we have the Azure PaaS support back. So our plan is to stay on Sitecore Azure PaaS, upgrade to the latest Sitecore 10.3 or 10.4, whatever version which was latest. Scale up and scale out the platform based on the number of websites we are having and the amount of traffic we would be having on the platform. Then start using the Sitecore personalization, A/B testing, and so on and so forth. And then extend the Sitecore XDB and path towards the AI, which is the Cortex coming out of the box with Sitecore 9.2, and then keep on evolving. What is monolith and composable architecture? This year's symposium was all about a single buzzword, which is composable. You may have seen lots and lots of sessions, both theater and breakout sessions, talking about the composable architecture. There were a lot of case studies for the client who have already migrated or they are on their way to migrate to the composable. You may have also seen a lot of slides comparing the monolith and the composable architecture so far. But my favorite slides till today I have found to compare these two platforms as this one. This was used by Bruce in one of his theater sessions. A lot of my Indian friends might be smiling looking at the first picture here. So you can see that a single system, which is kind of serving a lot of different features and functionality, how that can be overloaded, insufficient, and maybe equipped with a lot of unwanted features. Rather, you can design your own orchestra, pick the best instruments and the best musician in the market, which you like. And that is the main difference between a monolith and a composable architecture. If we talk about Sitecore XP as of today, that comes with, for sure, the content operations. We have XDB, personalizations, marketing automation, Cortex, and so on and so forth. And what I'm hearing or the kind of feedback we are getting from market is at least 70% of the customers out there who are on Sitecore XP are not using those specific features at all. but Sitecore as a platform is being purely for the content operation side of the things and so on and so forth. And we are not different. So what are the data points which will help you to create a business case to go composable? If we talk about a typical XP0 monolith architecture, it comes with Sitecore Experience Manager and Sitecore Experience Platform, which have, doesn't matter if you are on Azure PaaS or you are on premises or you are on IaaS, it comes with a lot of web apps, database, index workers, and so on and so forth. So let's talk about those in a bit. So all the boxes which you can see in the blue belongs to content operations. Then we have the resources which belongs to lead generations. Then you have one for analytics and personalizations. Then you have machine learning and AI. Then you have marketing automation, and you have A/B testing. Which means that when you install a vanilla Sitecore XP0 instance, I'm not talking about any of the scaling out or scaling up you would be doing going forward, or any of the custom resources which you would be creating for your typical business requirement. A vanilla Sitecore XP0 instance comes with 54 resources by default. In a typical SDLC process, you would be technically using 4 different environments: your dev, your QA, your staging, and your production. I'm still not talking about any further environments you would be having, and I'm also not talking about if you have any disaster recovery setup. Which means that for these 4 different environments, you are managing and hosting 216 different resources. Now the little secret of the day, as I mentioned earlier, that the 70% of the Sitecore clients who are on Sitecore XP are not using those XP features at all, but using Sitecore purely for the content operations. What does that mean? That out of those 216 resources, if you are using just content operations, you are using 15 resources per environment only, which means that throughout your SDLC process, only 60 of those resources are being used, which are sufficient enough for your content operations and also lead generation. Which means there are 156 resources which you are hosting and maintaining, and those are not being used at all. So your first step toward composable is to shut down these 156 resources by scaling down from XP to XM. When it comes to the cost, based on our analysis so far, by scaling down from XP to XM, there's going to be at least 30 to 40% of the Azure hosting cost and the maintenance cost you would be for sure saving. And especially the transaction cost, because XDB resources are very expensive based on the amount of traffic you are having on your website. Plus, if you have platforms like disaster recovery, where you have something like a SQL geo replication between the databases. If we especially talk about the databases like Shard and so on and so forth, those are very heavy and those are very expensive to have a sync between your active production environment and your disaster recovery. And now comes the interesting part. During the symposium this year, the most discussed topic was getting a clarity on Sitecore packaging and costing. Also for, and that is especially for the clients who are kind of moving from perpetual to a subscription-based model. And also for the client who are like us, who are planning to downgrade from XP to XM, because that is going to be the first step for each and every client who is on XP right now and who are planning to go composable. The way I look at it, if we scale down, we would be losing features like XDB, XConnect, marketing automation, Cortex, etc. So there should be, we should be expecting a significant fall into the licensing cost so that we can plan to step up and add other composable DXP features like personalization and CDP and so on and so forth. And what we have learned from Sitecore this year is what we have learned from Symposium this year is Sitecore is working to figure out the right transition model, especially in terms of the licensing cost and so on and so forth. So when it comes to saving the money on Sitecore licensing, crack your fortune cookie and see what you find after having discussion with your Sitecore sales rep. So what is the right way to go composable? Any of the composable DXP out in the market, not necessarily Sitecore, is basically a mix of 3 different components: presentation, content management, and personalization. So as the first step, you should move your product ownership to your customer experience ownership across all these three components. Second, your content must be granular and atomic so that it can be assembled more efficiently and can be consumed via third-party APIs. Next, decouple your front end from your back end and go headless. And fourth, compose your own DXP with best breed of components that are right fit for you. And there is no golden template for that. For example, when it comes to CDP, maybe for Johnson Controls, Sitecore CDP is a right fit, but for you, there are other CDP platforms in the market like Telium and Oracle and so on and so forth. So do a due diligence and find out what is the right CDP platform for your specific business requirement. Let's talk about the new product launches in the market, which was announced into the Sitecore Symposium this year by Dev. So this is how 2 main offerings from Sitecore looks like. We have all-in-one for the customers who thinks that they are not ready to go composable yet. We have all-in-one platform DXP, which is still monolith. And then you have the Next-Gen Composable DXP, which is divided into 3 different categories: Content Cloud, Engagement Cloud, and the Commerce Cloud. So Sitecore 10.3 was announced during Sitecore Symposium this year for everyone who thinks that they are still not ready to go composable. Sitecore 10.3 is focused mainly on extensibility and interoperability to make a smooth integration with Sitecore SaaS solutions and to make the path easy in the future to go composable. There was also headless SXA was launched for the people who are using SXA on their Sitecore XP platform as of today. That is kind of bringing the useful part of the Sitecore Experience Accelerator to headless architecture, but the only platform which is supporting that now is Next.js. With Sitecore 10.3, rather coming with like 100 plus out of the box component, like it's come bundled with SXA. There are only dozens of components which would be available with the headless SXA, and then you can build your own headless components on top of it using features like webhooks and so on and so forth. Also, headless SXA on 10.3 is not mandatory but optional, which means that if you are using SXA onto your current Sitecore version, which is like below 10.3, and if you want to migrate to 10.3, it is not compulsory for you, especially in terms of SXA, to go headless. So what is the migration path to XM Cloud when it makes sense to stay on XP, when it makes sense to supplement it with the other SaaS platform? There are 3 different categories which are shown in the deck here. So it will make sense for a customer to stay on XP if those are new Sitecore customer using any of the Sitecore 10 version already and who are still into the enough maintenance period. Second, if they are using the Sitecore XP they are extensively using the Sitecore XP functionalities like XDB, Cortex, and so on and so forth, XConnect. And third, for the organizations who have like specific requirement to stay on-prem, they cannot go on cloud and so on and so forth. I have worked on many banking and the health insurance client who are like still hesitating migrating their environment to cloud. Second, you can stay on XP but add platform like Personalize and CDP. For organization looking to expand their customer data across the channels, they can go for that specific route. And those who are looking to expand their current personalization with the testing efforts and so on and so forth. If they are not comfortable with the Sitecore personalization feature of XP, they can still plan to integrate Sitecore Personalize and add CDP to their current ecosystem. And third one is migrate to XM Cloud now and add personalization and add Sitecore Personalize and CDP as needed. This would be good for organizations like us who are not on Sitecore 10 plus yet, who are not managing the Sitecore or who are not using the Sitecore XP to the full extent, and who have planning to redesign or modernize their experience in terms of the delivery and especially in terms of the content operations and so on and so forth. This is how the composable DXP ecosystem looks like. The red tiles belongs to the content cloud. The blue tiles belongs to the content cloud. The red belongs to the engagement cloud, and the light blue or the teal one, those are belongs to the commerce cloud. Sitecore Content Hub was one of the platform which was launched during the Sitecore Symposium this year, which is kind of a simpler CMS, which lets you build content type, populate them, and then access them via APIs, which is mainly aimed for organizations who do not want to make any customization or who do not have any kind of complexities to be introduced onto the experience management platform and so on and so forth. I read it somewhere that this is styled as a little brother of XM Cloud, a very lightweight headless CMS, mainly for small scale websites or for especially for the microsites and so on and so forth. So what is the difference between XM Cloud and Content Hub 1? Because both are headless CMSs. Content Hub 1 is mainly omni-channel, content modeling, and headless delivery, where XM Cloud is you get what you see and what you get: content authoring, layout oriented, and headless delivery for marketers and developers. Checking on the time. 5 more minutes, I think, to go quickly. Sitecore Search was also launched during the Sitecore Symposium this year, which is an AI-powered standalone search derived from Sitecore earlier acquisition reflections. It will be included by default into the Sitecore Content Hub, but it can also be integrated with an existing website or Sitecore XP platform as a plug-in play, because that is a SaaS offering again, and which will help us creating the faceted site search experience. Sorry for the fumble. So what is the difference between Sitecore Discover and Sitecore Search? Sitecore Discover is mainly for the product-oriented search, which can be integrated with platform like Order Cloud and so on and so forth to give a better commerce product search experience on your website, where the Sitecore searches can be used for the internal Sitecore search as well as for the for your website search experiences and so on and so forth. The fourth platform which was used was Sitecore Connect, which all these products integration becomes a critical need. To solve this, Sitecore announced Sitecore Connect, a minimal code integration platform where there are a lot of third-party integration which can be integrated with Sitecore with either zero or a minimal code efforts. And Sitecore is kind of still building to have the connectors ready for the platform like XM Cloud, CDP Personalized, Send, and so forth. Cloud Portal was another announcement this year. With a portfolio of products, it is very important to have a single interface which makes them easier to use together. The Sitecore Cloud Portal provides a front door not only to the Sitecore tools but for the other platform as well. As you can see on the screenshot there, we have XM Cloud, Send, Content Hub 1, but also provides us an option to integrate and manage external third-party apps like Marketo, Salesforce, Teams, and so on and so forth. This is going to be my last slide. So how are we talked earlier about the JCI challenges, and we also talked about what were our mitigation plans earlier and how those are changed now. This is how we are planning going forward. As I mentioned, that our first step is going to be scaling down from XP to XMP, which is Experience Management Platform. How we are going to do that is that going to be scaling down the current platform, or we should be looking like a greenfield deployment and so on and so forth. Based on our brainstorming so far, both of the approaches have its own challenges. Where the greenfield is more cleaner approach, but it comes with a lot of implementation cost because we have to revisit all our third-party integrations. We have to revisit all our DNS, WAF, CDN, and especially disaster recovery and so on and so forth. So probably we will go with the scaling down the current platform. For sure, we need to do a thorough comparison between how a Sitecore XP0 installation looks like and how a Sitecore XM installation looks like. For sure, it is very easy to shut down all those XP-related databases and instances, but we also need to do some set of cleanup on on the CM and CD web roles as well. And that is the place where the comparison which we are trying to do, which would be a comparison of all of the configuration files, all of the DLLs, and all of the other files which belongs to the XP and which is not needed on XM and so on and so forth. The next step is going to be add Sitecore Personalize and start looking for headless. And after that, we would plan to upgrade to Sitecore 10.3, which will give us an option to try the headless using Next.js and so on and so forth. And that is the plan where we'll plan to go headless, whether that's going to be a big bang or hybrid. I don't think in typical scenarios like us, where we by that time we would be having at least 100+ website already migrated to this platform. So for sure we cannot go big bang. We would be planned for an hybrid approach, since as of today we are on Sitecore 9.2, so we cannot use Next.js. So once we are migrated to Sitecore 10.3 or 4, whichever version is available that time, that is the place where we will start migrating small websites or like type of the microsite which we have in our current ecosystem. Will make those specific website headless first, and then plan to migrate one website or more than one website at a time. What does make more sense to be on private cloud or XM cloud as of today? I think XM cloud need a little more sunshine to get matured and production ready, especially adding the features like Sitecore forms and so on and so forth. But I'm sure that down the year 1 to 2 years, when we would be looking to go headless, Sitecore XM cloud would be ready to have like production ready environments and so on and so forth. So probably we would be looking for XM cloud that time. And then figure out what is the best read for CDP, which is like best suit for our specific requirement, and plan to have that specific migration done, and then continuously evolve. That's not all, folks. We have a lot of fun coming. The composable journey of just now started, so I'm pretty sure there are a lot of more to talk and explore on this area. So that's all from our side. Thank you.